Good afternoon, my News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for Thursday, September 25, 2025. And in the news this afternoon, churches march against the Obeah. With a public sermon and a chant, pastors and their congregants on Wednesday marched in Spanish Town to demonstrate their rejection of any plan to legalize Obeah in Jamaica. The evangelical outcry came as the constitutional challenge to the more than century-old Obeah Act, which was filed in the Supreme Court on May 16, is due for its first hearing on Thursday at 10 a.m. The fixed date claim form was filed on behalf of Director of the Institute of Theological and Educational Research at the Jamaica University College, Professor Clinton Hunton. The legal move has been met with outrage from members of the clergy. Scores of Christian followers peacefully marched from the prison oval to the town center in the older capital. Bertha Samuels, the attorney representing Professor Hunton, said the move to invalidate the Obeah Act was influenced by the recent sentencing of O'Shane Grant in the St. James Parish Court, who was ordered to pay $5,000 after he was found guilty of the practice. But the chairman of the 10,000 Men March, Bishop Rowan Edwards, argues that unavoidable destruction could strike if lawmakers choose to greenlight the practice of Obeah.
We saw what voodoo has done to Haiti. It mashed it down bad. When it's not major storm, it's major earthquake. When it's not major earthquake, it's gangs wickedly control the country. We don't want that in Jamaica. So the pastors come together to make a cry against the wicked spirit of Obeah that they want to legalize in this country. The few parliamentarians that want that, let them go and repent. Those who are pushing for it, let them go and repent. The pastors have seen what the evil spirit of Obeah has been doing to our young people. Yes, we don't want that to happen in Jamaica.
Pastor Dalbert Simons, chairman of the Spanish Town Ministries Fraternal, further urged the government not to bend to pressure to legalize the controversial practice.
I want for the government and his new cabinet to hear that the church is standing with him. Don't bow to pressure. Don't allow for this to happen in our country. Though in Haiti, it is not called Obeah, it is called voodoo. It is the same practice. There are similarities there. And we saw what is happening in Haiti. We don't want for that to come to Jamaica. Our belief as Christian is a godly belief. And this country is a godly country with godly principle. And that's something that we want to maintain.
In response to the public criticism, lead attorney Bert Samuels maintained that no Jamaican should be persecuted for practicing their religious belief.
It is my view that the Constitution of Jamaica says that there should be a freedom of religion, and therefore any attempt to criminalize any religious group is an offense to the Constitution, so that when someone goes to court to say that all religious beliefs should be free, those persons are protecting the rights for Christians, Muslims, Indian fortune tellers, all those groups. They are being protected by the same provision in the Constitution. And therefore, it is best if those people look at the affidavit that was filed by Professor Clinton Hunton, rather than taking an emotional approach to the upholding of the constitutional right. For example, Rastafarians were unable to practice their religious practices, and they are now able to use sacraments. They are now able to carry their sacraments in the free way. It doesn't mean that we, the rest of us in the society who support the Rastafarians being able to practice their religious practices, are ourselves Rastafarians. What we do is that we say that as constitutional practitioners, that the law cannot discriminate between one religious practice and another religious practice. Up to 2013, persons caught practicing Obeah were whipped and flogged by the state. The only other offense for which that was done is rape.
Minor earthquake felt in sections of Jamaica. A minor earthquake was felt in sections of St. Andrew on Wednesday. The earthquake unit at the University of the West Indies said that the 3.2 magnitude quake was felt about 3:53 a.m. The epicenter was located near Hagley Gap in St. Thomas. It had a focal depth of 10 kilometers. The earthquake was reportedly felt in Gordontown, St. Andrew. $250,000 reward offered for information on teen's murder in home invasion. Crime Stop is offering a $250,000 cash reward for information leading to the capture of the suspects behind the last week's murder of 18-year-old Jada Pollard during a pre-dawn break-in at her family's home in Smokyville, St. Andrew. Jada was a sixth form student at the Queen's School. Member of Parliament for St. Andrew North Central, Delano Seabright, made the announcement Tuesday night during a meeting with the Smokyville Citizens Association and the senior members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, led by head of the St. Andrew North Police Division, Superintendent Randy Sweeney.
Smokyville is one of the most peaceful hillside neighborhoods above Kingston, and this heinous act has left the residents shaken up. We're moving quickly with the police on a number of initiatives. Among them, of course, is also enhanced security measures, cameras at entry and exit points in the community, and improved street lighting and so on. We're asking and calling on the public to give information to the police. They can call Crime Stop at 311. There's a reward being offered for details that can lead to an arrest. And we must deliver justice for Jada and safeguard the peace of that lovely community.
Landscaper accused of Machete attack. 42-year-old landscaper Moses Wilmot of Preston Hill, St. Mary, has been charged with wounding with intent after a chopping incident in his community on Monday. Reports from the Port Maria police are that at 5 p.m., Moses and a man had a dispute which escalated into a fight. It is reported that during the fracas, Moses used a machete to inflict chop wounds to the other man's body. The police were summoned, and upon their arrival, the injured man was assisted to the hospital where he was treated and released. Moses was arrested and charged after he was implicated during the investigation. His court date is being finalized. Elderly man killed in Hero Circle accident. Every morning for decades, 73-year-old Victor Fox McCullough pedaled his bicycle through Hero Circle in Kingston to fetch water for his household and the small furniture shop where he worked. But yesterday, the routine ended in heartbreak when he was struck and killed by a truck near the busy intersection across from Crab Circle. Reports are that McCullough was transporting water on his bicycle when the collision occurred. Eyewitnesses said onlookers desperately tried to alert the truck driver before tragedy struck. Investigations are ongoing. For Allman Town residents, McCullough's death was a tear in the fabric of daily life. His neighbors described him as a man of quiet routine who had become part of the community's rhythm. "It's a regular thing years now in my buy water," one neighbor told the news. At the furniture shop, co-workers were visibly shaken. Carl said McCullough was his right-hand man, responsible for small deliveries and crafting stools. "I send him go buy water and I come back," Carl recalled. "People call him unsound man, but he was a sensible person." Carl admitted he could hardly bear the sight when he arrived at the scene. "Me go out there and to how me see him lay down lifeless, me couldn't look," he said, his voice breaking. McCullough's landlord, Vernica McCloughin, fought back tears as she remembered seeing him leaving that morning. "He's been with us for over 40 years. He's like family to everybody. He may not have it as some, but he is loved by everyone," she said. The area around the Hero Circle is a constant hub of traffic linking major Kingston roadways and has been long seen as a dangerous zone for cyclists and pedestrians. As of July 25, Jamaica recorded 223 road deaths from 192 fatal collisions, representing a 4% increase compared to the corresponding period in 2024. Pedestrians and cyclists remain among the most vulnerable road users. For McCullough's community, however, No national statistic can explain the depth of the loss. To them, he was more than a man on a bicycle. He was a neighbor, a co-worker, and a friend whose steady presence will be missed long after the traffic clears. We don't know how we will manage without him, McLaughlin said. Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.